This program is a collaboration of personal opinions and individual free thought. It does not represent the views or narrative of the mainstream corporate media hacks. Viewer discretion is advised.
And here we go.
Live from the bell tower, taking a stand for your rights, your liberties, and all the bullshit in between. You're listening to Break the Bell Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the weekend again, so welcome back to your weekend wrap-up.
Hello, beautiful bell breakers. It feels good to be here.
It does. It always feels good to be here because we're here.
Yes.
Because this is like the greatest weekend program out there.
Absolutely it is.
Like, I gotta say, this has to be your favorite weekend show to listen to because, I mean, it's us. So, I mean, if you're not listening to it, then you're doing something freaking wrong.
It's my favorite, and I have impeccable taste.
That's true. So, no bias or anything.
No, not at all.
No reason to think that
Down the middle.
Yes. I mean, from a non-biased standpoint, we took a poll between the two of us, and we found that this is the number one
Yes.
weekend.
That's 100% right there.
Yes.
Two
exactly.
for two.
Exactly. It's like the polls that they take on like CNN. It's like CNN polls found that Democrats are way more popular than Republicans. It's like, but who are you polling?
Yeah, right. Would have been messed up if you're like, we did a poll and 50% of us like this show. I'd be like, wait, what?
Bill? God damn it, Bill. How's everybody doing out there? This is, once again, the weekend wrap-up show where we wrap up your week in true Break the Bell fashion because there's plenty of things to talk about in the world. So we keep talking about them.
Absolutely. And you enjoy it. And we enjoy it.
You better enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then we're just going to enjoy it for you. So,
that's right.
So we got quite a few things to cover in the news. The main topic on the news is
B for Vendetta, right?
Yeah,
is it B for Vendetta?
B for Vendetta, yes. That's how Biden's like, it's not V for Vendetta, it's B for Biden.
Yes.
What? And it's just funny. I mean, we're gonna get into this a little bit later, but it's just so funny to me that it's like not only are they not trying to portray this like fascist image, it's like they're trying to portray a fascist image.
Yeah.
And it's like, what would look really badass is if we lit you up red, bright red in the background. You could bang your fists and yell.
It's a power move. You know? And like I think I had sent on a Facebook post or something. It's Dark Brandon. Playing up the Dark Brandon persona.
Obviously, I don't think you're the only one that posted that.
No, I'm sure.
There's this right here that I posted. This one that I made the day after that it happened. Dark Brandon rises. So we are going to get into that, but we got quite a couple other things to talk about first. If I can get rid of this goddamn screen. So before we get into the show, obviously we got to mention our Coffee Fix of Freedom, our sponsors, Run Your Mouth Coffee, who supports fascism in its finest. I'm pretty sure Dark Brandon drinks.
He does.
No.
Yes.
No. Run Your Mouth Coffee supports everything besides fascism, because fascism wants you to not be able to have free reign to free speech, and Run Your Mouth coffee does. And I would rather vote for good coffee over Dark Brandon.
And Dark Brandon hates coffee, like good coffee.
Run Your Mouth Coffee should come out with a Dark Brandon roast.
They should.
Like,
oh my gosh, that's awesome.
It's like a dark roast, but it's Dark Brandon roast. I don't know if they'd want to tie their name to it.
Probably would not.
They gotta do some kind of play on words with it, though. I think we're gonna have to recommend that to them because they might sell at least one.
Yeah, black with the like blood red stripes on it.
Yes, so that might go against everything they stand for. Run Your Mouth Coffee again sponsors your right to free speech, your right to run your mouth. and also makes a good damn cup of coffee. So go to rymcoffee.com, tell them we sent you by using the promo code Break the Bell, and you'll get 10% off your purchase plus free shipping. And that's an anti-fascist deal right there. Yeah. Fascists don't give you free shipping.
No,
never.
No, they don't. No, they take it out of your hide.
Yes, they take more shipping, and they tax you on top of that. rymcoffee.com. Don't forget, we got our main episode tomorrow night. Even though it is Labor Day weekend, it is the commie holiday that is Labor Day. Exactly. But we are going to still be back here celebrating in true Break the Bell fashion, because that's what we do. And I mean, we're still going to take the day off, even if it's a communist fucking holiday. Then we also have our morning show where I collaborate with Dan Smots of the System is Down podcast every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 7 a.m. That is the Two Scoops morning news show. So we come on for 20 or 30 minutes and just talk about things. And it turns into a shit show, as every show that our name is on turns into. So make sure you join us for that. Again, that's Tuesday and Thursday morning, the Two Scoops morning news show. I'll get it right one of these days.
You'll get it.
It's a mouthful.
It's like when we first started and you're like wanting me to like run through the social media that we do, and I just couldn't do it. And you're like, it's fine, Bill. I just got it. I got it. It's just like, sit down.
Bill, take it away. And you're like, it's on the
Facebook thing.
It's on the social networks. You know the thing. You know the thing. Like Joe Biden says. Yeah. You mean the Constitution, Joe? Yeah, the thing. Check us out all over social media. I'm not going to ask Bill to do it because clearly he still can't do it. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Our handle is at Break the Bell Pod. We're also across other social media platforms. If you want to see us on a specific one that you can't find us on, make sure you let us know. If you're hanging out somewhere on some weird side social media site, let us know and we'll join, and we will fuck it up for everyone. So hit us up, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you're listening on YouTube, or even if you're not on YouTube right now, go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel, because you may or may not know we got nuked from YouTube like 4 or 5 months ago, and we have since started a new YouTube channel. So we would like to build that back up to what the old one was. So go to our YouTube channel. Just you can find the links on all our social media or on our website at breakthebellpod.com. I don't think it's actually linked to that yet, but it will be soon. But you can find it on our social media, or the links will be in the show notes here after we repost this in the future. So go to that, like and subscribe, so we can build that thing back up, because we want to keep doing awesome things that we think we are awesome for doing. So do it for our own egos, mostly. Anything else?
I think that's it.
You think that's it? You ready to get into some news then?
I am.
We got some comments. Who is commenting? Bill Filter says, love the show. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for being a longtime listener of the show, a supporter of the show. I just, fuck off, dude. So let's get into the news. Before we get into the Dark Brandon, Red Brandon, Bloody Brandon, I don't know what we're calling it these days. We got to mention his superior, his puppet master, that is Barack Obama, because Barack Obama also made the headlines for slightly different reasons. Barack Obama won an Emmy.
Wow.
You remember he won a Grammy not long ago.
He got a Grammy, a Nobel. Has he got an Oscar yet?
I don't think he's got, I think the Oscar is on his list, next on his list.
Yeah.
He got the Grammy for reading his own novel or something. It's that's not even a job. That's not even talent. Yeah. I mean, you're talented, I guess, for writing a book. But to get an award for reading the book that you wrote, I don't feel like there should be awards for reading a fucking book.
Reading your own book.
Or any book at that. I mean,
well, I don't know. If Morgan Freeman read a book, I mean,
did James Earl Jones win a Grammy for reading the Bible?
He should.
Because they have the Bible audio tapes.
That's right. If Obama beat out James Earl Jones, I'd be pissed.
Oh, you should hear who he beat out.
Really?
So this is from CBS News. It says Barack Obama wins Emmy for narrating. This is great. This is Emmy worthy here. He narrated a Netflix National Park series.
That's horrible.
that his company produced, by the way.
Oh, okay, of course.
So it's never like anything other than like him propping himself up, because the Grammy was for him reading his own book. The Emmy was for him narrating his own like production company's show. So it says
System's not rigged at all.
Says Barack Obama is halfway to an EGOT. I'm guessing that's Emmy, Grammy, Oscar. What would T be?
Tony.
Tony. Okay. Oh God. If he wins a Tony, we're all fucked.
Barack Obama, the musical.
Oh, the former president won an Emmy Award on Saturday to go with his 2 Grammys.
Oh, 2.
Obama won the Best Narrator Emmy for his work on the Netflix documentary series Our Great National Parks. The 5-part show, what the hell is this? The 5-part show, so we got to put up with 5 parts of this.
Yeah,
it's never like
so.
a one and done thing. Like
Right.
I talked about the Hillary and Chelsea Clinton TV show that's supposed to be airing in a month or so. That's an 8-part miniseries.
Oh.
Can you imagine 8 parts of Hillary and Chelsea?
That's nasty.
Well, this is a 5-part show of Barack Obama talking about national parks around the globe. Sounds exciting. So exhilarating and exciting that we got to have an Emmy for this. It's produced by Barack and Michelle Obama's production company, Higher Ground. He was the biggest name in a category full of famous nominees for the award handed out on Saturday, on Saturday's Creative Arts Emmy, including Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He beat out Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in narrating. And says David Attenborough. I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's like, that dude's like, I think he's like the Babe Ruth of documentaries.
But he's not as famous as Barack Obama.
Oh, he's not. Oh, never mind.
And
okay.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh yeah, I love her.
I don't know who that is. Do you?
She was she's in a lot of the Jordan Peele movies. She was in Black Panther as his girlfriend.
Okay. But yeah, Barack Obama beat all of them out. The one that bites the hardest is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I would love to see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar up giving an Emmy speech, first of all.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Says Obama's the second president to have an Emmy. Dwight D. Eisenhower was given a special Emmy award in 1956. Do you know what a special Emmy is?
Special.
It's kind of like an honorary doctorate.
Yeah.
You didn't earn it, but it's like he's the fucking president.
Him a bone,
He says he wants some sort of award, so we're gonna give him something. We're gonna make up
it's
this.
Probably for a speech he made, and they're like, oh well, what can we give him for this? You know.
Says Obama previously won Grammy Awards for his audiobook reading of his two of his memoirs. I didn't know he had more than 2.
Why do you need more than 1 memoir?
I know. How many lives do you have?
I know. Well,
Michelle won her own Grammy for reading her own audiobook in 2020. So,
okay.
I mean, they just keep writing more books so they can win more Emmys and Grammys.
Could you imagine listening to a book read by Michelle Obama?
It's got to be better than Hillary Clinton, though.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be like nails on a chalkboard.
It says EGOT refers to a special category of entertainers who have won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. To date, 17 people have done it. So of all of like the famous people in the world, Barack Obama could get to the point where he's in the realm of the top 17.
Nobel, right?
No, well,
so it'd be a EGOTYN.
Yeah, something like that.
No, why?
The late Chadwick Boseman also won an Emmy for his voice work on Saturday. Back to Black Panther. We're really tying this together. The Black Panther actor won for outstanding character voiceover for the Disney and Marvel Studios animated show What If.
One episode.
One for outstanding character voice. It doesn't say, it just says at the Disney Plus Marvel Studios animated show.
He only did one. It was the Star-Lord episode.
Really? I didn't know that.
So it was the Star-Lord episode. It was his last like acting gig he did.
Now, how is a documentary voiceover comparable to like actual acting voiceover work? How is that the same fucking category?
Exactly.
I don't understand.
There's no acting. Well, I mean, everything Barack Obama does is acting.
But
still.
It says on the show, Boseman's voiced his Black Panther character T'Challa,
and I'll give that to Chadwick Boseman. I mean, I like the guy. You know, I think he's really talented. I can't believe he did everything he did with dying from cancer.
Yeah, right.
But that's not Barack Obama.
No, Barack Obama. I mean, he might have a good speech voice, but would you consider that like in the realm of like best voiceover voice?
Not at all. There's so many better voices out there.
Oh my God, this is depressing on so many levels. This is the level of like creativity that the United States, at least the world, has come to. It's just like, well, there's not really much better than this voiceover what's it called? Narration of a freaking documentary. First of all, who watches documentaries and is like, this documentary is going to win an award?
Oh my gosh, Barack Obama's narrating that. I need to see that.
Yeah, it's just padding a resume that he doesn't really. Does he really need to pad his resume anymore?
United States? No,
I mean, he's got the top notch already. Yeah. Who fucking cares about the rest of it? I mean, maybe he's trying to put his name in the hat for other voiceover work. He's like, I got an Emmy. You can't refuse. And
I see Michelle Obama getting one because, I mean, you know, to narrate and pretend to be a woman. I mean,
that takes
that takes some skill.
No kidding. Good God, all while tucking your boys up, which she doesn't do a very good job of that. Anyways, moving on. Another leader of the Black Lives Matter organization. Speaking of bad acting, right? Another leader is accused of stealing money from Black Lives Matter. Could you imagine?
Yeah, right.
I mean, we talked about this in the early days of it. We talked about how at the local level, it seems like they're doing great stuff, but most of the money was not funneling down to the local level.
When we broke down the way that the money, like the little branch and that it took to get to the local level, I mean, it only ended up getting like what, 3%?
Well, first, remember, it went through that outside organization that had direct ties with
Blue Wave, I think.
Well, there's Blue Wave, but then there was that organization that had like had like the woman from the 60s movement.
Yes, man, we're reaching way back.
Yeah, we're digging back to the 2020s. But when it came down to it, it's like the local chapters were receiving so very little, but the international, like Black Lives Matter International, was like raking in this shit. And it's just like, where's this money going if it's not going to the local chapters? Are they just paying for like nice desks and private suites and stuff?
Protest signs.
Yeah. So this is from Fox News, so obviously they're going to be biased against this, but it says Black Lives Matter leader is accused of stealing $10 million from the organization for unjust enrichment. So it says a lawsuit filed on behalf of 26 grassroots Black Lives Matter chapters. So it's not like a bunch of like Ted Cruz's are out there saying we're going to sue you to put. It's the actual local chapters that we're talking about that should be getting this money. They are suing this guy.
Good for them.
And says last week alleged that the leader of the national organization siphoned $10 million in charitable contribution to pay for his own personal expenses. Black Lives Matter Grassroots, a nonprofit that serves as the umbrella group for the local chapters nationwide. So if Black Lives Matter Grassroots is the umbrella for the local chapters, what is Black Lives Matter International?
Right?
The umbrella for?
Yeah.
Because they had to form their own goddamn group to be over them because the group that's supposed to be over them was taking all their fucking money. Or it's like, are they even connected anymore?
Right. It doesn't sound like it. Yeah.
Says they claimed in a lawsuit filed in LA County Superior Court that Shalomaya Bowers, the leader of Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, defrauded the local chapter for unjust enrichment and used their funds as his personal piggy bank. Well, it sounds to me like the fact that there's a Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, that's not the umbrella group above Black Lives Matter grassroots chapters. That sounds defrauding in its own right. Before he started taking fucking money.
Yeah.
Says BLMGNF, the grassroots group, which received more than $90 million in wake of George Floyd's death in 2020, represents the national BLM movement. So, no, that's the global one. So,
okay,
they have received 90 million, which he took $10 million of. Since 2020, they represent the national BLM movement, but not the local chapters nationwide.
Okay.
I mean, digest that for a second here. They represent national movement, but they're not representative of the national local movement. So maybe they're just the ones that go and like lobby at the White House and stuff. Is it just a lobbyist organization?
Maybe they're the ones that show up at the expensive dinners.
There you go.
Right.
Show up at the White House for a photo op.
We don't want to do it, but we got to go eat at this $50,000 plate.
Yes,
fundraiser.
That's it. Bowers, described as a rogue administrator and middleman turned usurper, led the foundation to
usurper.
Yes,
really.
Well, they're defining him as rogue. Like they've isolated the rest of BLM.
Yeah,
Global is like, no, he's not one of us. He went rogue a long time ago. It says he led the foundation to be investigated by the IRS and blazed a path of irreparable harm to BLM in less than 18 months, according to the lawsuit. While BLM leaders and movement workers were on the street risking their lives, Mr. Bowers remained in his cushy office, devising a scheme of fraud and misrepresentation to break the implied, in fact, contract between donors and BLM. Says Melinda Abdullah, the director of the grassroots one. I'm not going to keep giving the acronyms because they're very confusing. And a co-founder of the LA chapter said at a recent press conference that the assets we built, the financial resources, social media platforms, and the name Black Lives Matter have been taken from us and are under the control of consultants. Hey, I'm pretty sure that happened 2 fucking years ago.
Yeah, right.
When we talked about how there is very little connection between the two. We predicted this a long fucking time ago. The global board of directors denied the allegations in a lengthy statement posted to their website Thursday. Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation is here to give light and fight for Black liberation. The statement said in part, "Make no mistake, the allegations of Melina Abdullah and BLM grassroots are false. They are slanderous and devoid of reality." Yeah. Considering this is the second person to get accused of this, I would say it's probably not that delusional.
Yeah.
It's not that outside of the scope of
the other
reality.
lady, what she got busted for? Was it like it was like 20 million, wasn't it?
I don't. Well, she had a bunch of mansions.
Like 4
mansions.
or 5 mansions.
Says Bowers and his group went on to scold those who are suing him, accusing them of falling victim to the carceral logic and social violence that fuels the legal system. Now, this is the fun one. This statement right here by the global group. They would rather take the same steps of our white oppressors and utilize the criminal legal system, which is propped up by white supremacy, the same system they say they want to dismantle to solve movement disputes. So it's basically calling them an Uncle Tom.
Yeah,
is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, these people, they're using the same legal system that they're trying to dismantle.
They need to handle things in house.
Yeah.
And instead of take it out to the white man's legal system.
Yes, exactly. We need to handle in house so we can take advantage of them, not the white man taking advantage of them. Obviously, that's what we need to do. Says Bowers is a close associate of BLM co-founder Patrice Coolers, who resigned from BLM Global in May 2021 after allegations she misused millions of dollars in donation money. Disclosures found that the foundation paid $6 million for an LA compound in 2020. BLM Global received backlash following the purchase, including from some of the organization's supporters. Says BLM Global also dished out $2.1 million to Bowers' firm, Bowers Consulting. So he's not only the leader of this, where he can decide where the money goes, but he also owns this consulting firm that
consults on where they should put the money.
Yes. And so he is paying himself his own consulting firm out of funds that he is responsible.
Robbing Paul to pay Peter.
No, it's Peter robbing Peter to pay Peter is what it sounds like in this circumstance. I mean, yes, it's so much Peter here, but he he's just saying, hey, this is just gonna go to our consulting firm. Oh yeah, what's the name of? Oh, it's Bowers Consulting Firm.
Oh, are you related to him? No, it's me.
No, I'm not related at all. It's just me. Like one employee. I'm consulting.
We're gonna put it in the Bowers Bank.
Yes. So what do you think about that? Shocking
no,
news?
Not shocking at all. I bet you by the end of next year they'll have like 5 more cases of this.
Yes.
It just I mean, we talked about how shady the whole thing was. And all this just does is proof that it's that shady.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think, the further we get away from 2020, the more this shit's going to come out, but it's not going to matter to anybody by then because 2020 is so far long gone and our attention span has been like flipped 18 times since 2020.
Yeah.
So,
and the media and the establishment will find new victims or villains that they can, throw the shade on.
Like white supremacists.
Yeah.
In MAGA movement.
And them.
So let's get into the story of the week, which is Dark Brandon once again makes the headlines. This first of all, just this picture here, minus the Dark Brandon Rises caption at the top. Does that scream unity to you? Like unifying? Because like this speech was supposed to be like nationally unifying speech, is what it was proclaimed. It looks
like he's going to start going door to door looking for people.
Well, he's not.
No.
But his henchmen are.
Yeah, his IRS henchmen will.
Or the Marines that are posted in the background.
Yeah, they won't.
What do you think of the Marines being posted behind this charging speech? I think that was intentional.
Absolutely, it was. It's a show of strength.
It's
like, these are my boys. They got my back. I mean, it was very militaristic message. It had nothing to do with unifying. It was all about I'm the king.
Yes.
And I'm going to do what I want. And if you're not with me, you're against me.
So there's a lot of comparisons out there making between this picture here and then this image right here, which is straight from V for Vendetta.
Yeah. And I can see that.
Yeah. Wouldn't give us a little background on V for Vendetta and how this really matters.
So V for Vendetta was written by Alan Moore, who is an anarchist during the 80s. And basically it was kind of fears of Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan, this whole fear of fascism kind of sweeping across the globe. And so they had England kind of taken to this post-apocalyptic dystrophic future where they had kind of taken over, scared the populace with threats of rebellion and viruses, and kind of just said, look, we're the only ones basically keeping order here. We're the ones that are holding back the walls of chaos and death, because you don't want to be like the United States, who got swept out by a virus because they wouldn't listen. So, but we'll take care of you. Don't worry. You just go to sleep. We'll take care of you.
Yes. So back to this one then. I mean, you're talking about warnings against fascism. Isn't that what he's doing? He's warning against MAGA fascists.
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole point
That's
here?
the irony of this, is that, I mean, he's literally portraying a fascist view while saying, hey, I'm going to protect you from fascism.
And I don't know, the color blood red, there's symbolism there. I mean,
yeah.
There's always red behind all the fascist totalitarian dictators.
Was it what? Blue calms you, and red is what inflames you.
Yeah,
right?
This was intentional.
Absolutely. So he's speaking to his base, and he's trying to rile his base, being like, we're not going to let the evil MAGA people, and he came out and actually called them a clear and present danger. Right?
He basically called them extremists, terrorists.
I mean, he's calling them out as they're enemies of the state.
So, we compared it to this image, I think it's more like seeing Biden in front of that background. It reminds me more of this right here.
I can't see that.
It's the stupid hyenas from The Lion King.
That makes more sense.
He's Ed right here,
yeah.
scowling at everybody. That's what it reminds me more of. So let's read a little bit about this, because this says Biden. This is from Fox News again. Says Biden shocks viewers while with hellish red background for polarizing speech. I wouldn't even go as far as hellish, but
no.
But it's definitely we've talked before. He has a marketing team. What were we talking about last time? We're like, wow, he's got some good marketing specialists on the job right now.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I can't remember. It was just last week, I think, too. So, but yeah, so this is an intentional thing.
Yeah.
To portray this power.
Right.
Oh, it was the Dark Brandon campaign.
Oh, yeah.
It was his own White House staff.
Yeah, when they're like, oh, this grassroots campaign. It's like,
it went viral amongst White House staffers.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Really? So it says President Biden's polarizing speech Thursday night sent social media ablaze with a glowing blood red background. Let's switch over here real quick and listen to just a second of that speech. The most, I would say, unifying part of the speech, I guess. Hang on. Let me get it back to the beginning. Oh, where's the expand button? There it is. So here's a little bit of that speech in front of that bloody red background. God damn, nothing's working. Here we go.
That digs deep when we need it. Empathy that fuels democracy. The willingness to see each other not as enemies but as fellow Americans. Look.
Wait a second. Okay, so first he just gets done saying willing to see each other not as enemies but as fellow Americans.
Yeah.
And then he goes on.
Our democracy isn't perfect. It always has been. Notwithstanding those folks you hear on the other side there. They're entirely outrageous. This is democracy. But history and common sense. Manners is something they've ever suffered from. But history and common sense tells an opportunity, liberty, and justice for all are most likely to pass in a democracy.
This is not the clip I was looking for. Okay. There was the one where he like straight out called them.
Oh yeah,
the fascistas.
Yeah. No,
it was on this. Where'd it go? Oh god damn it! All right, let me see if it's back on this one.
Yeah, so basically saying you can have freedom as long as it's on my terms.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's just interesting how what is going on.
That's some epic music.
Oh, what the hell is happening? I don't know what's going on.
This music should be like Biden.
Where's it coming from? There it is.
In flaming bass. That Game of Thrones.
It's funny. No, it's Lord of the Rings. I was gonna say it's funny how they put the Game of Thrones music after the fact.
Yeah.
God, this is like going really slow. Our streaming stuff. God, I had a video pulled up of him blasting, but he basically said maybe it'll probably say in this article. Let's just get back to the article. I guess. Moving on because we're having technical difficulties. So the article goes or starts out. It says Biden aimed to frame the state of U.S. politics as a battle between equality and democracy, and a GOP allegedly assaulting those principles in a campaign-style speech at Independence Hall. So you got to take into account that this is basically a campaign-type speech.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then he's got the Marines in the background, which is kind of politicizing the U.S. military.
Right.
And they've gone on to be like, well, in defense, Joe Biden did have, or not Joe Biden, Donald Trump did have General Milley walk with him to the church.
Milley,
yeah,
really?
Does General Milley really count? And remember, he came out and apologized. It's like that was bad optics.
I didn't even want to do that.
Oh, he didn't even go that far. He said basically that was bad optics, which is the worst way to apologize for doing it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying I was wrong, but
I'm just saying it probably looked bad.
It looked bad.
Yeah.
Says the fact that this is
and it's at Independence Hall where he comes out and was like talking about the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, we the people. Remember after his State of the Union where he was like, we the people right here standing here.
We are the people, like us, the lawmakers.
Yeah, exactly. So when he says we the people, that's exactly what I'm thinking he's talking about.
Yeah, and he says it a couple times in the speech. He's like, we the people. It's like you've already defined who we the people is. And it's not us. Yeah. It's you
guys up there.
So this guy from Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy tweeted, the fact that this isn't photoshopped is surreal. Every time I think Biden and his crew can't be dumber, they outdo themselves. Seriously, who gives a speech warning about how dangerous Republicans are to democracy while having a background that looks like Soviet Union and Hitler had a baby?
Right.
And that's what I was going to say. It's like every evil dictator like Stalin, Hitler, they always had the dark red background. So it's just like, the optics just aren't that good, in the words of General Milley.
Right.
I'm not saying fascism officially has its coming out party in America tonight. I'm just saying Biden's condemned his political opponent as a threat to America and democracy, set to a blood red background with the military standing behind him.
Right.
Says Fox News, Kayleigh McKinney called it a hellish red background, while others couldn't believe the images circulating on social media were real. I can't believe this is a real photograph. It depicts the president of our nation as he took to the airwaves and spoke about his fellow citizens as if they were sewer rats. I'm trying to get to the parts that he said about it. Maybe it says in the next article, because the next article is so funny to me because it's from the New York Post, but it calls out CNN because even the optics were so bad that CNN, who has staunchly supported Joe Biden the whole entire time, decided to fade the red background to a much softer pink color. So as to not appear so fascist looking. So this is from New York Post, and I'll give you a view of what their depiction was. This is what CNN saw the whole, and you can watch it in real time. I actually watched the clip. Videos aren't working great, so I'm not going to play it. Where he's talking, and you can just watch the background, and it slowly fades from red to pink. It's just like, you're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, right.
So this says CNN is questioned after altering the blood red background of Biden's speech. It says CNN is facing questions from critics after the network was busted altering the lighting for President Biden's Thursday address. I don't think they're busted. I don't think what they did was necessarily wrong. Like, not as wrong as the depiction that was put before them. I think it was probably a smart choice on somebody that's trying to make this guy look better than he is.
And what's the odds? Most people probably watch it on CNN.
Well, his own fans, the people that are already supporting him.
And so if someone else is like, "Oh man, did you see that crazy speech?" and they're like, "Yeah, it wasn't that crazy."
Nice pink background.
It's supporting breast cancer,
obviously. It says the president came in for withering mockery online for the harsh black and red backdrop, with me comparing the optics to Star Wars and V for Vendetta. While networks like CNN, MSNBC, CBS, and C-SPAN carrying the speech all originally appeared consistent, CNN noticeably altered the color of the background from red to pink in real time. Eagle-eyed cable news watchers pounced on the shift. The story was reported in Medialite. This sounds like Pedialyte.
It does.
Which put the CNN footage up side by side against other networks, showing that CNN's switch was not a technical problem that hit all networks. Says CNN appears to have tweaked the video of Biden's speech from a demonic red to Pepto-Bismol pink. Very helpful, as we need a lot of Pepto to get through this. So it says, Joe Biden promised to deliver a unifying speech on the battle for the soul of the nation. That's the one thing he kept saying over and over. And what do you think of that line? It's like, this is the battle for the soul of the nation.
That bothers me. I mean, well, okay, when he was elected, I mean, he came out and it was like, remember, he was the dawn after the darkest night in American history, right? And so now all of a sudden he's battling for the soul of the country. And so it just sets up these very combative images. I mean, not only is he calling MAGA hat wearing Republicans, a clear and present danger, now he's saying, okay, if we don't win this, we're the soul of the country is going to take a deep hit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very, I don't know. And then, when he was talking about January 6th and talking about how they assaulted police officers and raided the Capitol building, it's like, I don't know. He's setting the stage for something here. He is. I agree.
Especially coming up to midterm elections. This is the hill that they have to die on, because like every candidate, whether it be Congress or state governor candidate that had any backing of Trump, we got to villainize all of them in order to potentially come out on top of this election. Yeah. And by doing, I just don't see how. I feel like this is just him like, whoa, people are really liking this dark Brandon image that we're portraying Biden as more of a badass. What if we push that a little further and make him on this dark red backdrop where he looks like the evil dictator that is doing the bidding that the regular Biden. Remember, they said he's doing the things that the rest of the country won't do in order to save the country. And so that's it seems like the same marketing strategist that put together the dark.
I'm sure that I have to take these steps to keep democracy.
Yeah,
safe.
and that's what he's going for here.
It reminds me of, you ever see Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Right. Classic 80s.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But
classic 80s. Anyways, the principal who is kind of the bad guy trying to get Ferris Bueller. He's like talking to the school secretary. He's like, if this kid thinks he's gonna get away with it, he's got another thing coming. And she's like, ooh, you sounded like Dirty Harry. That was cool. And so then he like starts like kind of looking himself in the mirror, like, Yeah. I mean, I picture Biden doing that.
Biden is looking at himself in the mirror. He's like,
Ooh,
Dark Brandon.
Honey, he's like flexing the mirror. Hey, Jill, you ready for Dark Brandon?
Oh, God. She's like, not that again, Joe. Joe, I'm tired. Let's see.
Bring Hunter's laptop back in.
It says, I think this is Biden's warning to MAGA Republicans. It says, promote authoritarian leaders, and they promote authoritarian leaders, and they fan the flames of political violence that are a threat to our personal rights, to pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country. There it is again. Mm-hmm. They're determined to take this country backwards to an America where there's no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, and no right to marry who you love. We're getting really, I mean, we're talking about really MAGA people porn. Being extremists. Yeah. This is pretty extreme mentality.
It's total
here.
Fear porn.
Talk about Trump derangement syndrome at its finest.
Yeah.
So this is from National Review. I had to find parts of his speech because none of those other articles said anything. It says the next moment Biden would emphasize that I'm asking our nation to come together, to unite. We, the people, will not let anyone or anything tear us apart. So basically, he's saying MAGA Republicans are not part of this. We, the people,
that's
anymore.
Exactly what he's saying.
He's isolated at least probably 30% of the United States out there.
Yeah.
And saying, hey, you are no longer we, the people. You are extremists. You're outsiders. You're outliers. Probably terrorists.
Right.
Most likely, you're terrorists. Is what I'm not going to come out and say that you're terrorists, but there's a good chance that you're terrorists. So, says he warned that MAGA Republicans are working right now as I speak in state after state to give power to decide elections in America to partisans and cronies.
Yeah.
Talk about irony. Empowering election deniers to undermine democracy itself. All right.
And this comes on the heels of, I think I had read like 4 MAGA Republicans had won elections in the last month.
Yeah. And that's probably really hurting their look.
Oh,
there.
Absolutely.
So he talks about empowering election deniers to undermine democracy itself. Mm-hmm. Can we flash back to 2016? We don't do this enough. Flashback to 2016 through early 2020.
Yeah.
How many election deniers on the other side were there in that 4-year span when Donald Trump was in office? Right. How many times did they question that election and it was the Russians hoax,
right?
And Donald Trump in bed with Putin and he didn't win this election. You remember not my president? That whole slogan.
Yep.
Isn't that empowering election deniers to undermine democracy itself in the same manner? It's like you can't throw such a shit fit about this for 2 fucking years now about these people denying the election results when you spent 4 years denying election results.
Yeah.
But one's undermining democracy. The other one was protecting democracy, obviously. So he goes on to say, MAGA Republicans have made their choice. They embrace anger. They thrive on chaos. They live not in the light of truth, but in the shadow of lies. There's
the guy talking in shadows,
in the dark shadow, red shadowy. But there it is again. I'm the light in the darkness type speech. I'm pretty sure Scar from Lion King basically said the similar stuff.
Probably.
Like he talked about the dawn of a new era. Remember?
Yep.
And that's Joe Biden.
Yeah. Marching hyenas.
So thoughts on his speech? Do you think it's gonna hurt his chances? I mean, CNN clearly thought it was not.
No, and I've heard that it hasn't resonated well with his people at all. Yeah, that it's dropped his favorability down even with his own base.
They're like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah, right. Well, it's very divisive.
Clearly, it's purely divisive. Even though he came out touting like unity or how the speech was supposed to bring, but again, it's like saying it is unifying, but you're not part of this, so we're unifying.
Yeah, right, exactly. We're without you. But see, like for me, he comes out with this speech, and my first thought is like, okay, where the fuck is this coming from? Mm-hmm. Because Trump hasn't been in the limelight.
Except for the Mar-a-Lago
the Mar-a-Lago thing, but he hasn't really come out and talked shit from what I've heard. He hasn't been like stumping. He hasn't been, he's won the 2 CPACs in Florida and Texas, but he hasn't been like in the limelight. So and you haven't seen any like MAGA people doing anything really in the public spotlight. So the fact that he's coming out with this speech and saying, look, we have a real problem here.
The issue is that we're not seeing a lot coming from the MAGA, and they want to capitalize on it. So they give this divisive speech and completely isolate the MAGA people. And then obviously either A, the MAGA people actually step up and say, bullshit, we're going to do something about this, or B, it sets the stage for them to form some sort of false flag where they can be like, see, I told you so. It's because of this. This is in response to my speech and blah, blah, blah.
And with all the talk we had the previous couple weeks about the FBI agents being, infiltrating different, from the 60s on up, it makes me think that, they're setting the stage for some big disaster attack. And then they'll be like, see, this is what we need to crack down on. And then after that, then it will be truly Gestapo tactics kicking in doors.
Which brings me, that's a nice segue. I don't know if you intentionally did that, but that brings me to my final story. Was that intentional?
We're always on the wavelength.
You're talking about setting the stage for some big false flag. This just came out in Newsweek on the 2nd, which was 2 days ago. Says U.S. intel is saying that the 9/11 anniversary may inspire homegrown violent extremists.
There you go. So
we were wondering, we talked a bit with Jose from the No Way Jose podcast when we were talking about the FBI and the extreme organizations of the 90s. And he had said that I think another OKC bombing type event is on its way. When it's coming, I don't know. Well, now they're predicting down to the date. It's looking like possibly on the anniversary of 9/11, we're going to have something. Sure. So be on the look. If something pops off on 9/11, just know this wasn't a random event, because I mean, they've been,
but see, that doesn't make sense, right? I mean, why wouldn't they pick like a date that's like important to American history?
Why,
right? Like the Boston Tea Party,
or why wouldn't they pick a date that didn't bring the entire country together?
Right?
That a bunch of conservative-minded type MAGA type people weren't completely on board with, especially if you're touting like white supremacists. Like
it almost sounds like a liberal plot.
Yes, I would feel like, if these are white supremacists, I mean, this was the catalyst for blowing up a lot of brown people, which if they're white supremacists, they probably love that, I would think.
Right.
So to be like, oh, fuck 9/11, we're going to blow up shit. It's just like, doesn't add up. But this is the prediction by U.S. Intel. Okay. It says a U.S. Joint Intelligence Bulletin obtained by Newsweek has warned that foreign militant groups, this says homegrown violent extremism. So what are we talking about? Foreign or homegrown?
Oh, you know what? Maybe they're talking about homegrown Muslim extremists. But like ISIS.
I don't know. Let me read it. Maybe I should have read it. It says, it was warned militant groups could exploit the upcoming anniversary of 9/11, 1 year since the U.S. military withdrawal from the 2-decade war launched in Afghanistan. The bulletin dated September 2nd and issued by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the National Counterterrorism Center stated that 3 agencies expect foreign terrorist organizations. So scratch the whole. I just saw the homegrown terrorist part, and I'm like, they're trying to pen, but there's still there's something coming. There's something on the wind, and obviously the white supremacists are going to join forces with the Muslims.
Of course, I
mean, it only makes sense.
Well, but I mean, it could be. I mean, they're playing to the right wing, right? I mean, they're still saying, okay, something could be coming. Right. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but then something does happen. I mean, the first people they're going to go to is the right wing MAGA.
Yeah.
Right.
Says while DHS, FBI, and NCTC say they are monitoring intelligence from domestic and international partners to identify potential terrorist threats, they stated that currently they are not aware of any specific credible threats surrounding the anniversary and have no information indicating that Al-Qaeda has advanced homeland plotting. Or so where's this coming from?
I was going to say, this is a great article.
So basically it's like, be on the lookout. We expect this, but we have no intelligence.
In other news, there could be a meteorite heading towards Earth as we speak.
Says the 3 U.S. intel agencies assess that foreign terrorist media celebrating the 21st anniversary of 9/11 attacks almost certainly will add to existing anti-U.S. narratives. I'm surprised they're even reporting on this with the isn't that shifting focus from the white extremism?
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, I know. To be honest, if something was going to happen, I really thought it was going to be last September 11th because it was the 20-year anniversary.
Well, yeah, but this one is the 1 year anniversary from our pullout, our failed pullout.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of problems.
Yes, our really failed sloppy pullout. So this is the anniversary from that, and we just killed that one Al Qaeda, or Biden single-handedly killed the Al Qaeda
That's
guy.
true. That's true.
So it only makes sense. But again, I'm surprised they are shifting, like pulling the terrorist narrative from the at home domestic terrorism. Because, I mean, are you even allowed to put brown people back in the spotlight for terrorism
anymore? I don't
think
so. Not until Trump comes back.
Well, obviously. So you think something will pop off based on the intel we just received there?
No, I don't. Because people are expecting it.
Yeah. So do you think what do you think does pop up? Because you were the one that brought up, hey, they're planning some big false flag testing. No, what do you think? When do you think? What's your prediction?
My prediction is, I mean, it's going to be sometime when people aren't. It's maybe like middle October. Maybe
you
Black Friday?
Do you think Black Friday is not in October?
No, I know. That's why I kind of jumped. I said middle October, maybe around Black Friday. No,
pre-election or post-election?
I think it's going to be pre.
You think so?
I really do. I think it's going to be pre because, I mean, they're predicting like this red wave is going to come sweeping through. I think Remzo said he didn't think so. But with the way that the economy is, I had read in Zero Hedge, and I kind of mentioned it to you before we went on the air, that they think that Biden's tried and sent the MAGA people up so that because the economy's on the precipice of
failure.
Crashing. A failure, right? They're expecting, more layoffs, more firings, business closings, price going up, food going up,
energy.
Energy. I mean, I guess in Europe, energy blackouts are a really bad thing right now.
Yeah.
And so I think that what they said is they expect Republicans are going to take over, all of a sudden everything's going to bottom out.
Well, that's why I'm thinking maybe post-election that this hits too, or not this,
right?
But like domestic terrorism type thing, because they can be like, look, we left it in their hands. This is who you voted for. Because they know they're probably going to lose. So let's push the economic crash to them, and then let's also instigate a war with Russia, like keep sending billions of dollars to
Ukraine or
Taiwan. And at the same time, let's push this false flag. So it's like the trifecta. We got the domestic war that we get sucked into. We got the economic crash, and we got a domestic terrorism incident all in the hands of the Republicans. And maybe at that point they could be like, vote of no confidence. I don't even know if that's a thing in our country, but they would make it a thing. And be like, vote of no, you voted for these people. It's time to get them the fuck out. Let's recall these people.
And when I was listening to the speech, I mean, my thought was like, thinking like, shit, they're setting us up for like civil war.
Yeah.
I mean, that's because like you said, he's saying we the people, not including the MAGA people. I mean, to me, it just was very inflammatory, and it made me feel like, wow, I segued that again, didn't I?
Well, I forgot about this one. Was back to the Biden speech. Russia media came out and was basically praising the Biden-Trump tension for basically sparking on the verge of sparking a civil war. They're loving this. They're sitting back like, yes, because I mean, keep fighting each other.
Yeah, excellent. Because I mean, devil's advocate. What happens if there's a false flag, right? What happens if they do tie it to some militia group somewhere, that a government building in the middle of, Timbuktu blows up, killing a bunch of kids or whatever? I mean, then what?
Then they go after those groups, and every group, they crack down on all those groups. And then you see probably what you saw in the 90s, where it's just like, you're just inflaming that sentiment, that anti-government sentiment we talked about with Jose, and getting them like, these groups that have been not doing much, if you start coming after them, they're going to go on the defense, and then they're going to start like being more proactive. And then, I think you do instigate some kind of civil war.
So do you think after January 6th, we saw how they really went after social media. Do you think that they would do that again, come after podcasters, come after different accounts that they feel are inflammatory?
I think they go media, and I think they actually physically crack down too. I think they actually start going and like raiding these places, start arresting like a Donald Trump style, where he remember when he took the federal agents and they just went in like unmarked vehicles and just started like disappearing people in Portland and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be something like that, but probably like more publicized, more of like a Waco type. Right. Hey, let's get all the media out here to watch us taking down these groups. And it's going to be a big debacle because, as we saw in Waco, those groups tend to shoot back when they feel like the government is doing exactly what they were worried about. So
does it, that if something were like that to happen, does that give Biden a chance at another term?
It probably gives a shot at closing down elections altogether, in my opinion. Yeah. So, and Trump will probably get arrested if that's the case. And I don't know. It's a really shitty direction that it could go. Right. Hopefully it doesn't go there. Right. Hopefully none of this stuff comes true.
Well, it's just a really dark turn that Dark Brandon decided to take.
Well, yeah, it's a dark turn his marketing agency decided to go. I mean, I'm not sure when they hired a new marketing firm, but they went from bumbling.
Let's go from Uncle Joe to Emperor.
Yes. I mean, are we really portraying what we want to portray with bumbling Uncle Joe, Sleepy Joe?
Yeah.
Or we could rebrand him as Dark Brandon.
Right. Yeah. Now, can we get him a cloak? Because I feel like a cloak would go a long way.
I think Joe Biden's like, I kind of feel like I need a cloak with this background. Like, Joe, that's going a little too far. But wouldn't a cloak really
would just like really frame my face?
So apparently Russian state television hailed the excellent political tension between Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump following Biden's Thursday speech blasting MAGA Republicans. It says the speech, a shift in tone for Biden, who once said Republicans would have a post-Trump epiphany, underscores a heightened political tension between Democrats and Republicans. Russia quickly highlighted these tensions during a broadcast this week. While covering the speech, Russian state media said that Biden lost the battle for the soul of the nation, because he was talking about the soul, right? The battle for the soul of the nation, and they're saying he lost it and is looking for enemies of the people amongst his own people. According to a video of Russian newscast translated and posted to Twitter by journalist Julia Davis. Throughout the broadcast, Russian state media blasted Biden and Democrats for the speech while defending Trump and his supporters. Of course, they had to say that because that just gives more credit to, Trump's in bed with Russia. Right. So obviously they're going to side with Trump on this.
Yeah.
I want to know how much they actually praised Trump and his supporters in this. Says divide and conquer seems to be the only recipe that remains in the arsenal of the Democrats, who have failed in all respects, said Russian broadcaster Valentin Bogdanov, who described tension as the ghost of civil war. So what do you think of that coming from Russian media?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, they're loving it. Why wouldn't they get in on it, right? And just be like, egging on the administration, and be like, just empowering the MAGA people.
So what do you think of our sworn enemies like having this view of us? Is it an empowering? Is it like, hey, they fear us because do you think they have any fear in us?
No,
looking at our media,
when you first Afghanistan and now we're not wanting to get in bed with, give money to Ukraine, but not actively participate with Ukraine. And now, we got Biden trying to tear apart the country because he's scared of Trump. I mean, it makes us look horrible.
So a Russian television host basically said the speech was announced in advance. It was titled "The Battle for the Soul of Americans." And based on the crimson red tones during the speech, this will be a bloody battle.
Wow.
Yeah, so when the Russians are seeing it the way we see it, maybe the optics weren't great. Maybe the pink would have been a better choice. maybe CNN had something right by changing the colors to Pepto pink. Because,
I'm sure
the Russians are seeing this as this doesn't look good at all. It looks good for us.
I mean, if Russians saw that, I'd be like, wow, this looks really familiar.
Yeah, I've seen this one before.
Yeah.
Russian media is like, this is great for us, but if you're there,
Yeah.
no, that
Can
that's
you
not
see
good.
Putin be like,
That's not good.
if you're an American and you're scared for your life, you can come here.
Yeah.
You can hang out with Snowden.
Russia starts pulling out all Russians
Yeah.
the way we do U.S. people
Right.
when tension rises over there. It's like
Yeah.
pull all our people. Russia's like, it's not looking so good
Yeah.
over there. It's getting pretty dangerous. You guys should come back home.
Yeah,
like
right, yeah.
seriously, come home.
You don't want to be there.
No, things are much better here at home. So come here and fight a war for us.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I don't know. What do you think of all this? What's the
It's ugly.
what's the worst thing so far of all this? Biden's blood red background speech.
It's just his terminology.
Obama winning an Emmy.
Oh, that's pretty horrible.
The Black Lives Matter thing.
That's dumb, but
that
that's
doesn't matter
expected.
to me.
Yeah,
because it's not a shock.
I
at
mean,
all.
in the history of the country, has there ever been a president that's come out like this? I mean, and just totally demonized a nice portion of the United States people. I mean,
I don't know.
it's just I mean, you always hear stories of back in the 1800s, of like senators beating the shit out of each other.
Yes.
But you thought
we should go back to that.
I would be down with that. I mean, I think that would solve a lot of problems.
Having a gunslinging duel,
right?
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd be down with yeah. What was it?
Just put an octagon in the middle of
Marjorie Davis Green dueling with AOC.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, that would be a fun one. I'm pretty sure Marjorie Taylor Greene
win-win.
would win that one. Yeah. Just put an octagon in the middle of the Senate floor and have them just fight it out, man.
Yes.
Like, hey, this is up for we have a debate on the floor. Bernie Sanders is challenging Mitt Romney. Guys, take your spots in the ring. Man, that perfect. Yeah. Perfect. So that's about all the time we have. What's your prediction? Like you said, your prediction of the false flag happening, but what percentage do you put it at? Like the likelihood of a false flag happening by the end of this year?
Damn. I'm gonna go 30%.
30? That's it?
Yeah, only because I feel like it's gonna be like a January 6th thing. It's gonna be nothing major, and they're gonna try to make it
something happened.
Major.
Period.
Oh, something happened. Period. I'll go 80%.
Yeah, I'd say probably 70%.
Yeah.
Just because there's 3 months left, and I
that's
still coming up quick.
Yeah, it is. And again, I don't think it'll be Oklahoma City wide.
No,
but I do think it'll be something that is perpetrated by the FBI and something that is made to look much worse than what it is.
White supremacists or brown people?
I'm gonna go white supremacist.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think they're trying to pull our attention away from don't look over here while we plan this white supremacist attack. Right. And be on the lookout for brown extremists.
But look at it this way also. If something were to happen, right, they could be like, oh, well, we were so focused on foreign actors.
People, yeah.
Right. We didn't even expect this to come from our own people.
We did expect it, but we were all
especially after the speech. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of almost what it seems like.
Yeah, true. That's all the time we have for this week. Make sure you come back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for our live main episode that we do every Monday night that time. We're going to talk about other fun stuff. Not sure yet, but you'll enjoy it. I guarantee it.
It will. You will.
Have a great rest of your weekend. You actually have like 5 or 6 hours left to enjoy.
And then there's tomorrow. It's Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, tomorrow is Labor Day.
Communist.
Enjoy your communist holiday.
Yes.
I mean, they gave it to you. You might as well take it.
Thank Uncle Joe.
It's kind of like stimulus checks. It's like we don't support them, but we're not going to not take them if they give them to us. So enjoy your Labor Day, your long extended weekend. Share the stuff all over social media, all over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We are at Break the Bell Pod. Like, subscribe, all that fun, happy bullshit we tell you to do every week. And also go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel because we would love you for it, because we want to build that thing back up to where it was pre-nuke days. So do that, and we will give you a virtual kiss through the metaverse for doing it. Not, that was preemptive. They haven't done it yet.
I always do that.
Take it back.
Do that. All right. Sorry.
All right, we got to get out of here. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.
The Break the Bell podcast is brought to you by you. So pat yourself on the back because without you, we would be talking to ourselves. A special thanks to our Patreon members, Justin Zielinski, Remzo Martinez, Stephanie Parker, and T.O. Jacobson. A shout out to our sponsors, Run Your Mouth Coffee, the On the Run podcast, and Goulash Media. If you'd like to help support us, visit patreon.com/breakthebell or buy our garbage at breakthebell.bigcartel.com. Get back here next week and let us continue to invade your ear holes. And as always, never stop talking.